Hello. Hello, Vicky. Hello, lovely to see you. Welcome, everyone. How are you doing, Vicky? I hope you're all right. Oh, hypnotherapy with Heather. It's so nice to see you. Hello, Mark. And Mark. Ah, this is so lovely. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that again. Oh, completely rubbish at this, aren't I? Oh, gosh. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. Oh, that's better. What I was trying to do is get my comments so I can actually see them because I'm blind as a bat. So I'm Sarah. It's so lovely to see you. Welcome, Trish. Welcome, Caden. Welcome, Eva. Oh, lovely, Eva. Nice to see you. San, Kazi, Carrie from Ireland. Vicky, lovely. Oh, Gabriella. So nice to see everyone. Jasmine, welcome. It's so nice to have you here. It's just really lovely. This is a bit strange for me. It's a bit earlier than I normally do. Afternoon, Lynn. Afternoon, Jessie. So I'm Sarah. I'm a QCH therapist, and TikTok asked me to do a live about motivation, Motivation Monday. So it's really lovely that you've all been motivated to come along a bit earlier and join me. It's really nice. So thank you for being here. Today really is talking about motivation, because I think at times we all lack motivation, don't we? It's hard to find motivation. And so that's what I'm going to try and do. How about all of you? Do you struggle sometimes with motivation? Let me know. I want to say thank you to my moderators. We always try and keep this a really lovely safe space. And the only way I can do that is with my lovely moderators. So I have Lynn 250, Vicky Hodson, Jasmine. I also have San Shin and Vicky Handlebars, and they all work together with me, just answering people's questions about stuff, sort of housekeeping stuff. So yeah, I can't do it without them, so thank you so much. So, Leah says, which lipstick am I wearing? I've just put this on. I thought I'd go and have a look. It's a tropic lip glaze. I can't remember the colour. I'll look it up for you. So motivation, I guess, is something. I know for me, a lot of clients come to me and say, oh, I've got no motivation, I can't get myself to do things. And I think sometimes it's just really hard, isn't it? Motivation is not easy. It's one of those things that we start off with good intentions. Like, I don't know how many of you might have started this morning thinking, right, it's Monday, I'm going to start afresh, I'm going to do all the things that I said I was going to do, I'm going to eat healthily, I'm going to go for a walk, and it's 5 o'clock on a Monday nearly, and maybe you're thinking, oh, I can't be bothered now. I pour a glass of wine, I'll start next Monday, it'll be fine. So I think that's completely normal and it's completely natural. So if you're feeling like that, then please don't worry. So, let me have a look. There's a few comments here. So welcome to everyone who's joining me, joining us. Oh, Angela, you've got your head on the pillow and you're not feeling so good. And Kazi, you're feeling sick. Yeah, and when you're sick, you can't be productive. I think it's really important that you look after yourself. And I think that's one of the things about motivation, isn't it? That, there are times when we are really motivated and there are times when we're just not. So Trish says that she was going to be going out and she didn't. So what do you do? How can you make yourself go out? For me, it's about consistency. It's about small steps, setting little goals, so that it's almost so easy that you can't not do it. Does that make sense? So it's sometimes it's difficult. If you're feeling anxious about things anyway, if life is difficult for you, it's really difficult to step outside of your comfort zone. And I think that's the mistake that lots of people make, is that they think to themselves, oh, I have this big thing, I've got to do this thing, and if I don't do it, I'm a failure. And then you get into that closed loop, don't you, of thinking, oh, I've failed. And then that makes you feel down. It makes you feel that perhaps it makes you feel more anxious, and it makes it more difficult to do the stuff that will make you feel good about yourself. Is it M? Let me have a look. 'Cause even with the big writing, I can't see. Oh, congratulations. So you're 10 weeks pregnant and you're so tired and sick and you never want to get out of bed in the morning. Do you know, I think that, you're pregnant. It's okay. And this period of sickness and feeling so tired will pass eventually. I remember the first 3 months for me was so hard. It's really, really difficult. So now is not the time for you to be, seizing the day and rushing out there. I think so much of, you look on TikTok or you look on social media and places and everyone's full of woo, 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 like we've got to be, up, up, up. No, we haven't. It's, we don't have to be up and busy all the time. There are times in our life where it's okay to just slow down and look after ourselves. I think it's so important that we do that. So congratulations to you, and you just look after your baby, and if that means that you have to stay in bed all day and watch Netflix and just look after you both, then that's okay. Motivation will come when you get into the 3rd trimester and you start wanting to nest and it becomes really exciting. It will feel very different for you, so it's okay. So I was saying that, it's that sense of setting yourself little goals and deciding what you actually want to achieve. And sometimes with my clients, we look at the long term, the big goal, but also we look at the medium term, and we look at the little tiny short term goals which are achievable. And that's different for all of us, But if you get into that habit of consistency, of actually taking action, that can make such a world of difference. Because if you take action, and that might be, for you, Em, it might just be, I'm just going to get out of bed today and I'm going to have a shower, and that is enough, But then you think to yourself, oh, I did really well there. I feel okay. And you get a little boost of the hormones through your nervous system that tell your body, oh, it's okay, we're doing all right. We get the dopamine, which is a reward for having done something that we wanted to do. And it starts to become familiar, and the more we do it, we get more of the dopamine into our system. So it's those tiny steps, because it doesn't matter how tiny our step is. If we make a tiny step every day, we will get to the place that we want to go to. So it's not about being all big and high and whoop, 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 all of that kind of stuff. Sometimes, for many of us, it's the quiet, small steps that take us to where we want to be. We don't all have to be up and full of enthusiasm. Motivation is not about being busy, busy, busy. It's about being effective. So we take those small steps. Nadine, it's so lovely to see you. I just love, I'm so grateful that, even though I started a bit earlier than normal today, I can see so many lovely familiar faces, and I really appreciate that. And for all of you who are new coming here, maybe you found me in the sort of TikTok livey motivational Monday thing, or maybe you just stumbled across me. If you did, then you're so welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm a QCH therapist, and I am here today to talk about motivation, how we get motivation, how we keep motivation, and how we can also be kind to ourselves. because it's important, isn't it? That it's not, as I was just saying, it's not all about, getting up and going for a 5-mile run, and now I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to sell. No, it's not that, So, oh gosh, I can't quite see your name. So Niles Laywood, how do I stop feeling burnt out? I have no motivation to do anything. I think that is such a good question, and that is something that can happen so much to so many people these days, that we're driven to achieve and to get, and actually life isn't really about that, is it? Life is so much more about being, taking time, creating balance, doing things which make us feel good as best we can, but also taking time to be with our friends, with our family, taking time to just be by ourselves. And so I think if you're suffering from burnout, it's about just stopping for a moment and not expecting to be motivated, not expecting to be driving through each day. Be kind to yourself. Take time to just be, to just reset, to heal, and look after you. Speak kindly to yourself. And it's, Anita, I can see that you're saying that, how do you cope with the labour market when anxiety is causing you to be absent from work a lot? It's really hard, isn't it? When, we would hope that work would be kind to us, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes people talk a lot about mental health and don't actually do very much to support us. So again, it's all about starting with that sense of, what do I want to achieve? What do I want? So maybe I just want to be able to get out of bed today and have a shower, and that's okay. But maybe by doing that each day for a week or so, then next week I'll be able to get out of bed, have a shower, and then maybe go for a walk at a point in my day, Now I know that this is really hard when you're having to go into work and you have that daily grind of going into work. It can be really hard to take time for you, and I do understand that, but it's all relative. It's about each of us looking at our own lives and thinking, what's going to work for me here that I can create a balance? So making those short-term goals, which can be really manageable, really comfortable, really achievable, and then by doing those, we get to a place where we can perhaps achieve a medium-term goal, like I was saying about, I can go for a walk now, or for you it might be something completely different. And then by doing that, by keeping up the short-term goals, just making little steps, taking action every day, consistently doing something that is, if you imagine that our safe zone is like a green zone around us, and then just outside of that there's a band which is the amber zone, and beyond that is the red zone. We never want to go into the red zone. And if you're in burnout, then you've been pushed into that red zone, either through the people that you're with, by the work that you do, or perhaps by pushing yourself too hard. What we want to do is to be most of the time in our green zone, and then push ourselves a little bit into our amber zone, and then come back. So we're always giving ourselves the chance to recover, to heal. I was looking at a post by Julius Cowdery, who was going to be part of this Motivation Monday thing, and he's not able to do it anymore. But I saw that he wrote a post and saying about he finds himself pushing himself too hard, and he tries to give to everybody. I don't know if you do that. Maybe you do that you find yourself giving and giving and giving, and it's just too much, and you get to the stage where you just can't do it anymore, and you can feel that sense of the world closing in on you, feel the anxiety coming upon you, that sense of overwhelm, and it's so important to take time. And so we're not just stepping into that, we're not staying in our green zone all the time, but most of the time. and then we step into the green zone, into the amber zone a little bit, and then back again. And by doing that, by just pushing ourselves consistently, our green zone just expands and expands and expands, and the red zone gets further and further away. So it's that sense of doing things which make you feel a little bit uncomfortable every now and again to achieve that short-term goal and achieve that medium-term goal and ultimately achieve that sort of bigger long-term goal, but doing it by being comfortable, by being comfortable most of the time. So thank you so much. I can see people. I'm just going to move my big screen away like that, because oh my goodness, I can see when I'm on my big text, I feel like an old lady. I have to have the big text on so that I can see it without my glasses on, and then I swipe that away for a moment and I can see all these lovely likes and shares of this. So if you think this is going to be helpful for somebody and you would like to perhaps share this with someone, then if you have a look down the right hand bit of the screen, there's a little arrow, and that's something that you can press, and you can either copy the link or you can send it directly to someone. So thank you for doing that if you'd like to, and thank you. I've noticed a few people sending me gifts. It's very kind of you. It's not essential at all, please don't feel you have to do that, but it's very, very kind of you if you do. So we're talking about motivation. My name is Sarah. I'm a therapist and I work with my clients all the time talking about motivation and trying to help them find motivation. And motivation is not something that drops out of the sky. It's not a magic thing that we do something and it's there and it's like, oh, I need to keep hold of this. Motivation takes hard work. It's not easy to get. But it's about creating a lifestyle where you didn't mean to do that. I'm just trying to put the big screen over so I can see the big text and read your comments. It's about doing things consistently, being most of the time in your green comfort zone, but every now and again, maybe every day, maybe every other day, whatever feels right for you, just pushing yourself into the amber zone. So it's a little bit uncomfortable, it's a little bit of a push, and it's about growth, taking time to just push yourself a little bit. So it doesn't have to be much, but the fact that you're taking action gets your brain into the sense of, oh, this is a good thing to do. Because hello Vicky from Improve Your World. It's really nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. Vicky is also a therapist. We met for coffee this morning. And she does the same work as me. So, do go along and follow her if you're interested. I can see that there are lots of comments here about so Maddie saying, I just moved 2 weeks ago, found I didn't mean to do that, hang on. I had no motivation, finally took a shower, feeling depressed. I'm so sorry that you're feeling that way, but I'm really glad that you managed to take a shower, because that's a step forward, isn't it? That's a step into your amber zone. That will make you feel a bit better, and perhaps you'll be able to do that in a couple of days' time, maybe tomorrow. You might be surprised. So it's that sense of taking action consistently, but taking action that's manageable. Because if you set yourself up to do something really massive, then your chances are you're going to fail, and then you're going to feel terrible about it, because you're going to think, oh no, I said that I'd write a whole essay today, or I said that I was going to run 5k today and I didn't even get out of the house, and I'm just so useless, I'm a failure. But you're not. Be kind to yourself. It was just too big a thing. Oh, Susie! Oh my goodness. So I'm like totally stopped here. Susie, I worked with Susie on when she's a fantastic wedding photographer, and it's so lovely to see you here, Susie, and your anxiety's completely vanished since having 4 Zoom sessions with you. Oh, bless you. It's so lovely to see you. I hope you're okay. and your lovely hubby. Anyway, I digress. Hello, Tracy. Lovely to see you. Oh, excuse me. I feel like I need to say hello to people here. It's so lovely to see you. Susie, hello. Alicia. So nice to see you. So nice to see you. Gosh, that's so nice. So, GM and 4698. Really nice to see you here too. Lovely. Bronnie. Maddie, I do work with people all over the world at the moment. Julie Diva from California. How lovely to see you. I do work with people from all over the world. Unfortunately, today I've had to sort of make a decision and just close my waiting list for a little bit just to work through people. But I work with people from all over the world. So if you're from somewhere overseas, don't despair, because QCHPA therapists, we all QCH therapists, we all work with people, and many other therapists work with people from all over the world. So how are you feeling about the motivation stuff? Is this helping you? I hope it is, because I sense that. Hey Rachel, lovely to see you. I sense that for a lot of people, it's that kind of I don't know. This is probably me showing my age. But there used to be a bloke on morning TV called Mr. Motivator, and he used to dress up in lycra, and he'd be like, right, come on everybody, like we were going to do this. Oh God, exhausting. You don't have to be like that. You just need to be you. Being you is good enough. Whether you're an introvert, whether you're an extrovert, whether you're a student, whether you're a pensioner, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in the US, it doesn't matter, as long as you're you. And if you want to get things done, don't wait for a cloudburst from the sky giving you motivation. Just start by doing one thing, and that is enough. Because if you take one step, if you do one thing, then that will make you feel good about yourself, and it will give your brain the evidence that you are capable of beginning to do this. And so another thing that I find is really helpful is, I was talking about having the short-term, medium-term, long-term goals. Those are interchangeable all the time. So, but you can also have, at the end of the day, what I think is really useful is to sit down for a second with a cup of tea or a glass of wine or a cold glass of water and think to yourself, right, what have I done today? What did I manage? And so you will have done something, whether it was I got out of bed today, or I had a shower today, or I texted my friend today, or I set up a new company today, or I wrote my dissertation today. It doesn't matter what it is, but you write it down and you tick it and you go, yeah, I did that today. And then have a little think about, what was your best moment of today? What was your best moment? Because no matter how rubbish your day has been, there will have been a best moment. Sometimes it's the least awful moment of the day. But if you make a note of that and you start to take time every day to reflect on what have I achieved, what is my best moment, then you start to create a routine, a rhythm, a habit, which is a much more positive habit. And your brain in the course of the day is beginning to look out for, okay, what am I achieving here? Is this it? Is this having a glass of water rather than a pint of beer? Is that my achievement for the day? Is having an apple rather than half a packet of hobnobs? That's my thing for the day, or what's my best moment? My best moment was the fact that I did it. I did the thing that I wanted to do, and I feel good about myself, and it's going to be different for all of us. So noting your best moment, noting your achievement of the day is great. And sometimes you can have a whole load of achievements that maybe you not even realised you'd... Oh, I'm rubbish at this. Oh, what am I doing? I'm trying to get my... Done it. Trying to get my comments over so I can read them. Mustard porridge says beer. Fair enough, that's okay. Okay. So so I realised that some of you are asking me lots of questions about anxiety, and what I'm going to do on Fridays, I'm going to go back to my normal way of, I'm going to do a Q&A all about anxiety. I will try and do as much as I can, answer as many questions as I can on anxiety. So I oh, thank you, Trish. Oh, thank you. That's really kind of you. Trish thinks I'm doing all right. Trish and San have been bigging me up today, saying, "Go on, Sarah, you can do this. Just be you." And I so appreciate your kindness. It's lovely. And thank you, Maddie. Thank you for being kind to me. Yeah. So I think it's really important that we do these things, that we're kind to ourselves, we create balance in our lives, that we have these short-term goals, medium-term, long-term. What would your short-term goal be? You know, if you could say that tomorrow or even later on today, you're... I am, yes, I'm Mrs. Aris, Ruby. Yes, that's the place I used to work. So, what was I saying? Ruby, you've completely distracted me. What have you done to me? So it's that sense of creating balance in your life, being kind to ourselves, understanding that sometimes in life we're full of energy, full of enthusiasm, and other times we're in this place where it's hard. And when it's hard, it's that time to just settle back, heal, take time for you, for ourselves. But create a routine, create a habit of self-care every day, but also create a habit of doing something every day. So, you know, it might be mustard porridge, you're absolutely right, being kind to each other too. It's really important we're kind to one another. That's the whole point of this community is kindness. You know, we don't want anyone on here who's not kind, and it's important that we're kind to ourselves. So we're kind to one another, we have balance, we take action every day, and then we look back at the end of the day and we think, what have I achieved today? What did I manage? Because sometimes we can achieve things that we can really amaze ourselves over. We can think, wow, I just didn't think I'd be able to do that. And that's such a good feeling. We start to get the release of the hormones that make our nervous systems understand it's okay, we're safe, we're all right. Tracy's exactly right, praising ourselves for the little things. Mustard porridge, I'm glad that this feels like a safe space for you. I can only thank my the whole community, but particularly my moderators, Lynn250, Vicky Hodson, Jasmine, who are here today. So I think it's really important to also to note your best moment, note your achievements, and maybe reward yourself, you know. I've just seen a question here, what's my skincare routine? I love that question because this is absolutely my guilty pleasure, is my skincare routine. I'm like, I don't know, if I've got time I'll answer you. But I'm trying to I'm not sure if I can go down that road, but maybe another day. Maybe I'll do a whole one on my skincare routine. So the rewards that we offer to ourselves, you know, it's not about going, yeah, I'm gonna have like a whole bottle of wine, or it's about self-management, self-care, even when we reward ourselves. So maybe it can be something like I'm gonna meet a friend, or I'm gonna I'm gonna, what is it? Well, I don't know. What rewards do you give to you? I mean, for me, rewards are things like I'm allowed to sit and read my book. I'm going to watch something on telly that I really want to watch. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to maybe treat myself. I'm going to go and, I met Vicky today and we had coffee and I bought a little box of macarons, which were actually, when I was walking back to the car, realised hideously expensive. I might have to sell one of my children to pay for it. But very delicious. So that's, like one little macaron is like, it's just such a treat. But yeah, so I don't know, what are your thoughts on motivation? Are these sort of things, is this what you thought motivation was about? Is it something that you think you can work on? Is it something that you think is going to be able to work for you? Yeah, Lynn's telling you that, Ruby. I think you probably know Ruby, don't you? But yeah, I'm a therapist now. So yeah, and I'm talking about motivation. I was just asking what you all thought. So yeah, so San, you're saying flip negative thoughts to good thoughts, and that's a really good thing. And I think it's very easy to get into the mindset of, oh, it's going to be an awful day. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm so useless. I'm so this. I didn't do all the things that I wanted to do. So perhaps, we might get to the end of the day and our short-term goal was to write an email to someone and we've not done it. And we can easily go, I'm just useless, I've failed. And yet, it's much better to flip that on its head and go, well, I didn't achieve that, but what did I achieve? Because I will have achieved something. So that's important to think about, okay, this is the negative thought that my brain is offering to me. And I can choose to accept that. I can go down that road of negativity and telling myself, I'm rubbish at this, I've failed, I'm no good. And even just me saying those words, I can feel the feelings inside of myself. So I don't know if you even realise that if you use negative words, if you speak to yourself negatively, if you have a negative mindset, you just feel you're in protection all the time because you're expecting everything to be negative. However, if you decide, okay, well, thank you, brain, thank you for trying to protect me, because that generally will be your trauma self. For some reason, there's a part of you that is offering you that negative thought because it wants you to stay protected. But you could say, thank you so much for offering me that. But you know what? I'm going to choose this thought. And just think, okay, what is the opposite of that? What's the antidote to that negativity? What can I give to myself instead? So you could say to yourself something like, do you know, I really tried today. And I even had made a short-term goal for myself and I didn't achieve it yet. But wow, it was in my head to do it. And maybe tomorrow I can achieve something that's close to it. And just if you can use affirmations, so tell yourself, I'm trying my best, I'm a good person, I'm good, I'm kind, and I am doing the best that I possibly can, and tomorrow I'll be able to do a bit better. Then just think how that feels. All of a sudden your brain goes, oh, it's okay, I'm okay. So just try that. If you find yourself down that negative road, it's really it's not easy to start doing that, but it's absolutely doable. It's just a new habit that you're creating. So Holly's saying, I've done nothing but tell myself I'm useless all weekend. And it's not true, because it is true that you've done that, but I feel for you, because it's such a horrible thing, isn't it, when you're in that place and you're just telling yourself, I'm useless, I failed, I'm awful. It's not true that you're all those things at all, because none of us are all those things. We all fundamentally, and I just believe this so strongly because I witnessed it from the people that come to me. When I say to people, what is it that you're looking to oh God, I completely lost my train of thought there. What was I going to say? Oh, that's useless. I'm useless. Look, I've done it to myself. Told myself I'm useless. Oh, I can't remember what I was going to say. That's so annoying. But it's just one of those things, you know. It will come back to me in a minute. But I think it's, if you're going down that train of thought that's really negative, it's that closed loop. And it's really important to understand and notice that you're in that closed loop and think to yourself, no, I just need to stop for a moment. I need to stop and I need to say some kind words to myself. Thank you so much to my moderators as telling everyone in the comments when my lives are. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So Fridays at 10 a.m. UK time and Mondays at 5 p.m. UK time. And I do different things. I always post about them. I always put a reminder so that you can click and either register or set a reminder for yourself. So Holly, you look after yourself because it might have been a really awful weekend for you, but maybe this is the start of something different. Maybe this is the start of you just beginning to take some time for you, take some time just to take small steps to be kind to yourself. And I really think that starts with self-care, and then we can move on to the bigger stuff. Once we've built a platform and a foundation of self-care, of kindness, of balance, then we can move on to bigger and greater things. So Lila, I'm so glad. Yeah, and Holly, yeah. Do you know what? That's all you can do is just do your best, you know. And if you don't achieve that short-term goal, then maybe that was too much. You know, it's like, for example, if your short-term goal was to go, right, I'm going to go and I'm going to walk 5k, and you didn't manage to do it, then maybe it would be, okay, I'm going to walk 1k, and then still you didn't manage to do it. You go, okay, so I didn't manage to do that. What would be achievable for me? And it might well be that just putting your trainers next to your front door will be the reminder for you of, this is the thing that, oh yeah, I said I was going to walk, didn't I? So you think, okay, I'm just going to put my trainers on. And then it might be that you just put your trainers on, walk outside, walk to the lamppost, come back and have a cup of tea. But that is good enough. And that is, there straight away, you've got your short-term goal, you've got your medium-term goal is maybe walking 1 kilometre, and your long-term goal is walking the 5k. But by walking to the next lamppost, then you can get a bit further. Maddie, I'm so sorry. So I understand that if you have mobility issues and if you can't walk, that was just an example. I didn't mean to be being rude or being offensive to you in any way. What I was just thinking of was a goal of something that perhaps someone would want to do. So for you, it might be something completely different, and I'm not sure what sort of thing for you would be a short-term goal that you'd like to start achieving, Maddie, because that would be really interesting, and then we could look at that and think how it would work for you. So I'm just watching out for your comments, see what you say. I'm afraid, because I'm part of a whole thing this evening, that I have to leave by 5:35 at the very latest, because after me we've got at Dreezy Did It, who is just, I went onto his TikTok, and he's just so full of energy and so young and just so gorgeous, and I thought, oh my goodness, how can I possibly even be like anywhere near like he is? But I'm just me, you know, and that's the thing, is that all of us have to just be us, don't we? So I'm just looking to see, Maddie, what you were saying, because I didn't want to miss your comment about what a short-term goal would be for you. Oh goodness. So Maddie, so you're obviously going through a lot, and I'm really sorry to hear that. So it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. So for you, perhaps setting a short-term goal of self-care might be something that would be helpful, you know. And self-care for me is connection to other people, connection to ourselves, connection to nature, maybe to our animals, connection to exercise in whatever way we can, connection to learning, connection to creativity. All of those 7 things are really important that we connect to. So it's really important that we understand that whatever our goals are, we can look at someone and think, oh, you know, Elon Musk's goal is to go to the moon because he's got billions of pounds. Well, my goal is to have a cup of coffee with my husband this evening. You know, that's the thing. And Maddie, so you're saying there, little things make you happy, and that is absolutely essential. I love that. That's the most important thing. It's the little things that make us happy, and just starting to be kind to ourselves, to do the things that are possible, to be effective rather than busy, to be consistent, to take small steps. So I really hope that this has helped you all. I mean, as I say, this is all part of a TikTok Motivation Monday, and so I was first, and then there's at Dreezy did it, and then there's at Dante after him. They're just both fine young men. So do go and have a look at what they've got to say, because they're really interesting. They've got great things to talk about. Julius Cowdery was going to be after them, but he's not able to do it anymore. So I hope this has been really helpful to you. I'm going to have to wrap up in just a second, but I really wanted to say thank you again to my wonderful moderators, Lynn250, Vicky Hodson, Jasmine, for giving up your time to be here. Thank you to all of you. I can't name check you all, but you are just the most lovely people. It means so much to me personally that you turn up time after time to support me. But you know what I love most of all is that you support one another. I sit here and I found a way of enlarging the text so I don't have to have my glasses on to see. Oh, Carrie, it's so lovely to see you. And I love that. I love that we've created this little community. I've started, there's a sort of subscription thing that I'm looking at doing that you can click on, but I want to make sure what I'm going to do with that, because I think that would be quite a nice thing to do, but I'm not sure, because I'm not sure about people having to subscribe to anything. I like it to be free for everybody, and maybe I'll just carry on down that road. Thank you so much for being here. My next one, as I say, is this Friday the 9th of September. It's at 10 a.m. UK time. So for those of you in the States, I'm really sorry, that is kind of early for you. But what I always do is I always record, these are all recorded, and I will upload them to my YouTube. And you can find my YouTube channel just by clicking on my profile, and there's a link tree, and there's my YouTube, and all of my lives are there, and loads of other little videos too. So come along on Friday. I'll do just my normal Q&A on Friday rather than this specific motivation one, but it's been lovely having you here. Go and see Dreezy did it. Go and treat yourself, and I will see you on Friday. You take care. Oh, it's your birthday next Monday, Jasmine. Oh no, you're going to miss them. I forgive you. It's all right. I'll let you off. I'll give you time off for good behaviour. Thank you so much, everyone. It's lovely to see you. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you Friday. Cheerio.